Room number 4, woohoo. This category is sponsored by Fuji. Thank you, Fuji, for being involved. They've got to stand outside for anyone who's here. Go and check them out. My name is Melinda Comerford. We are about to begin the open segment of this category. So 2 subcategories. We've done the single capture. We're about to do open. I'll read the preamble for you again. This category is for landscape images that depict the natural or urban environment. Entries may be interpretive. In other words, they need not be a literal image of a scene. Judges in this category are asked to consider both traditional and contemporary values, camera technique, print quality, composition, and light. Open entries may utilise all post-production techniques, including the use of multiple images or elements to produce the entry. Even though the category is judged in the 2 subsections, it's to assist the judges in their assessment, but there is only one award. There is one Landscape Photographer of the Year. All good? All right. I'm going to get the judges to introduce themselves this round, because we know they love talking about themselves. No, it's a bit of a struggle for some of them. Let's start down the end with you, David. David number 1.
My name is David. David Evans.
And have you ever won any print awards before, David?
I won Landscape Photographer of the Year
just
in
that little one.
2015.
Not too bad at all. Lovely images there. Oh, it's so quick to pass the microphone. Okay, go to David number 2.
So David number 2 is David Glazebrook. I'm from New South Wales, master photographer.
Are you on any boards in your spare time?
Yeah, I do a little thing called the Australian Institute Professional Photography Board. Current chairman of the board. I've won New South Wales Science Nature Photographer. I've been a finalist in Head-On, National Portrait Prize. Yeah, a few things like that.
Awesome. Master photographer?
Yes, master photographer.
Excellent. Thank you,
you.
David. David Glazebrook, that was. Gary Cranich?
Yeah, Gary Cranich. I'm from Queensland. I'm a wildlife photographer. And I won Science, Nature and Environment Photographer of the Year in 2008, which is ancient history.
But still some beautiful images that have stuck in my mind, at least. Hilary?
Hi, I'm Hilary Han. I'm from Adelaide. I'm a wildlife photographer, more on the art side of things. I won the fine art category back in 2012. I think it's the last year they had it. So I'm the current.
Forever,
forever.
potentially.
So, I'm hanging on to that. And yes, I have my masters. I have 2 points off my first gold bar, so fingers crossed.
And Richard Bennett.
G'day.
G'day.
G'day. I won the Ilford Trophy in 1985.
Tell us about the Ilford Trophy.
Well, Ilford produced this magnificent big cup. And the name of every winner since the award started in 1977 go on there. So the whole history of the Institute and the highest scoring print is on that one cup.
That's
amazing. Which should go on forever.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
A good thing to have your name on.
Yeah. Is that enough?
Oh, that'll do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I've got Steve Scalone, the fabulous Steve Scalone, with me here, being very helpful. Thank you, Steve. We all good? Ready to go? Let's begin with the first print, please. By majority, this print scores 84, Silver Award. Thank you, Jackie, for stepping in there. The average score was 85, but for our audience, because our judges work as a team, if there are 3 or more of them in a certain scoring bracket, we go with the majority of them. So that's why you might get a majority score different to an average. Next print, please. Oh, sorry, can we hold that print? I need a comment, please, from David Evans.
Right. I think the elements and the colours all work really well together. I think this could have gone actually a lot higher if there was a bit more connection with the quality of the light hitting each of the sort of elements of the scene. I think some of it is really harsh and some of it was really soft. So it just gives a bit of a cutout sort of effect. But definitely a really, really nice silver image.
Thanks, David. Now we'll have the next print, please. This print scores 82, Silver Award. Richard, can we get a comment from you, please?
The image works very well, and that little signpost right in the bottom of the frame adds a pleasant touch.
Thanks, Richard. Next print, please. Could we get a blank screen, please, print handlers? We're just having some technical issues. While we're waiting on tech to come and sort us out, I'm going to thank our platinum sponsors. They help us so much to build these amazing awards that you guys are all here either in person or online listening to. It's an incredible thing for our entire industry. So glad we've been able to open this up to the public and everyone can come and have a look. Everyone is welcome. If you're listening online in Melbourne, come down and have a look. You can see all the prints on the walls. And Olympus, Aeon and Panasonic are the ones that have helped to bring us here to do that. It's really amazing. They really help us out, so we support them. So, Richard, working on any books lately?
I just finished a book on Tasmania's South Coast Track and my philosophy of the bush and the wilderness and photography. And I'm working on a yachting book now.
A yachting book?
A yachting book.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, 5 decades of Sydney Hobart.
Sydney to
yacht
Hobart,
race,
yes.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Well, that's amazing. Anyone who doesn't know, Richard's been photographing Sydney to Hobart for, as you say, 5 decades.
Yeah.
Amazing work.
Keep me out of mischief.
Yeah, partly at least. Gary, got any books in the pipeline? Queensland Museum?
Yes, another 2 this year. one on a very specific national park in Queensland called Yungala National Park, which is a rainforest outcrop. So in 2 weeks I go and crank that up again.
Oh,
so
wonderful.
go and get in the rainforest and try not to have my gear destroyed by rain. So yeah, challenges ahead.
Sounds like fun. I Our technical issues have all been sorted out, so thank you, judges. Thank you, audience, for your patience. We'll have that print back, please. By majority, this print scores 85, a silver with distinction. Gary, can we get a comment from you, please?
Yes, I was drawn to this interpretation of iceberg and that whole story of 1/8 up and 7/8 under, and the danger lurking under, and this calm serenity above. So yeah, well done, photographer.
Thanks, Gary. Next print, please. This print scores 83, silver award. David Glazebrook, if I may.
What a thoroughly enjoyable shot. I'd urge the viewers or the audience to come and have a look at this shot, because while it's largely monochromatic, there's little hints of colour there and there on the left-hand side and a roadway. So there's lots of little Easter eggs in here that are really great, and I think that's what we rewarded that for.
I love the use of the term Easter eggs. Next print, please. By majority, this print scores 84, a silver award. Average score was 85, but majority score, 3 of you were in the 80s, so the first half of the 80s. Next print, please. I apologise, I didn't ask for a comment there. Let's get one from, does anyone particularly have one? David, please.
I was a little on the lower side of the scoring here, I think, and I really love the palette, but I wanted a little something extra to add to that story, to harp on the Easter eggs kind of thing. If there was something there, it would have really boosted that image for me, to sort of for the storytelling nature of the shot.
Thanks, David.
Yeah.
We will have that next print, please. This print scores 85, a silver with distinction. David Evans, can we come to you for a comment, please?
Sure. Yeah, this is a really gorgeous print. I like it that there's the contrast has been pulled back in some of the trees to allow us to go straight to the little bird. If there was too much contrast around, it wouldn't have been quite so effective. So I congratulate the photographer on the restraint shown.
Thanks, David. Next print, please. This print scores 83, silver award. Gary, comment if I may.
Yes, thank you, photographer, for messing with my brain. I've scored it a silver. I just reacted to the montage. I'm still trying to find a reason for the montage. I haven't quite resolved that yet, but I'm still on silver. That's not helping our entrant, I know, but I'm probably not alone in that thinking. Yeah.
Thank you, Gary. Next print, please. Just going to make it. By majority, this print scores 80, a silver award. David Evans, you're bang on the average there.
Yeah, look, this is really brilliant timing. In terms of the balance of the road and the cyclist is perfect, but brilliant timing because the cyclist at the top is sort of silhouetted almost against that sand, and it's just the right moment. Without that, it wouldn't have been what it is.
Just going to keep our judges moving. Thank you, David Glazebrook. And I'll bring on Jackie Rankin. And we will have the next print, please. Oh, this print scores 80, a silver award. Please, Richard.
It's interesting, all the roots of the trees underground, but I wonder about the poplar tree that doesn't have any roots under the ground. It's just an observation.
Thank you, Richard. Next print, please. This print scores 79. Gary, you were on 77. Give us a couple of pointers that might take it into the next bracket for you.
Look, I think that I'm trying to read the triangle, and I've taken the triangle away to try and see what happens after that. So, yeah, the elements, I'm not sure that those elements are coming together to get me across into an award range. It's a very interesting picture, though. But, yeah, so keep running these things and messing with my brain, please. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Next print, please. This print scores 84, silver award. Jackie, can we hear from you, please?
Our eye goes to the bird in the landscape, and it really does feel natural to me. And I think that's the calling card. So well done.
Thanks, Jackie. Next print, please. By majority, this print scores 79. And David's going to challenge because David's on 87 and not entirely on your own because Jackie is on 86. Then there's a 79 and two 78s.
Just starting with a few global comments, just the shape and the colour and the way that this sort of sensual, this evokes a sort of a sensual feeling from afar, and then the really nice little detail of the bird in the shadow, or the emu in the shadow up close, and tiny little footprints. It does take me on more than just a literal journey. I think that there's a real depth of feeling to this photograph. I'm a bit surprised that we're talking about the difference between a 79 and a silver distinction. I think we should definitely be in the silver range. I probably would have even gone higher if it wasn't for the little rock or whatever down the bottom. But I'd sort of like to hear why we're not already talking in the award range.
Gary from 78.
Yeah, look, I read that line and that sensuality and that curve and ride through the middle of the picture. The heavy, dark area on the right-hand side has a lot of weight in this picture, okay? And then if we look at the shadow of the emu, the shadow is actually quite open. So we've got a heavy black over on our right, and the shadow of the emu is actually quite a bit lighter. So there is a disconnect between those two areas. So I think I was looking for that soft palette on both sides to draw me into that central section. So I'm still listening to where you're coming from, but yeah, it's just those competing values of tone.
Yes, Hillary.
Just a quick word. I agree what Gary said, but the other thing that bothers me is that the footprints are sort of above the emu and in direction it's going, and you'd think that they would be coming from where it's been, and I just find that a little bit sort of. I think I've looked at it several times. I think I'm right, but anyway.
Jackie, do you have a comment?
I think the most important thing here is the emotion. I got an emotion from this image, and it was to do with that movement of sand or something that there is meant to transport us. That's what the authors brought to it that makes it so different, and that's what got me. And that the spiral nature of that swirl, is it yin yang? That's why it's dark on one side and lighter on the other. But there was meant to be a sense of balance or a sense of imbalance to that's part of the emotion, perhaps.
Your right of reply, David.
Yeah, look, I'm with Jackie. It's much more emotional for me. It's like a spine of sand. The open shadow on the bird doesn't really bother me. It kind of almost would have been too obvious to darken that down, because shadows are quite open on bright sand. You know, I think it just is what it is. But I do hear what you're saying. But you know, I would really be very disappointed if we didn't give this an award, because I think that just those, even notwithstanding those few things, I think it's an award image.
So, though we had an average score of 82, we had a majority 79. David's locked in at 87. Everyone else rescore. We become an 84. Solid silver award. And those awards, those scores that are on the cusp of the next range, will go to review at the end of the category and maybe have another chance. Next print, please. This print scores 81, a silver award. Hillary, please.
Yes, I think it's a lovely print. I thought maybe some of the little bits of wood in the water, some of them just look a little bit soft to my eye, and I'm not sure that really matters. But yeah, very nice. I have nothing to offer to lift it up to another grade.
Thanks, Hillary. Time for another judge change. Gary, have a bit of a rest. And Mike Langford, welcome to the panel. Next print, please. This print scores 77. Yeah, Richard. You're not Richard. You are Mike. Mike would like to comment.
It shows very good professional practice, and that's where it sits.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Next print, please. This print scores 81, silver award. David Evans.
Yeah, I've not really seen a landscape like this before, quite like this, because it's just a really curious collage and really curious idea, but it's anchored with the same horizon and the same location. It's really well done.
Thanks, David. Can we please have a blank screen? Thank you. Apparently there's about to be an announcement made, so we don't want to be trying to judge through that. Don't know when. It's all right. Oh, waiting for that. Okay. Going to take this opportunity to thank Fuji again for supporting this category. Landscape Photographer of the Year. And all our sponsors in the trade show. It's pretty cool, actually. If you're in Melbourne, come down, get your little card, and you can walk around to the booths and get stickers on them and then win prizes every day from our sponsors. That's what the stickers are for, Richard. Yes, you need to go and get a card. Yeah, it's one of Lisa's photos. Lisa Sard sitting right next to me. And every sticker completes the picture. It's pretty awesome. Well, yes, that's right, actually. Lisa is our reigning Professional Photographer of the Year. What was that? Just boring. Yeah. Very fortunate to have her here with us. It's very cool. DJ at the moment. Yeah. DJ Lisa. What has it been like, Lisa, the last 12 months? Just talking to the mic.
Oh, lean over. It's been quite hectic. Lots going on. It does tend to change your life. So, but yeah, it's fantastic. It's been one of the best experiences I've ever had.
We just had a quick announcement that they're about to do the album judging. While they do that, we will proceed here. Let's have the next print, please. This print scores 77. Yes, Jackie.
Just a comment. I think there's on the left-hand side a diagonal line cutting through the end of that tail of that fish, and that's disrupted the composition.
Thanks, Jackie. And thank you, Gary, for stepping in there. Next print, please. This print scores 72. Mike, can we hear from you about this one, please?
Yeah, the crop really is too tight. The sun flare is very distracting. It needs quite a bit of work, unfortunately.
Thank you, Mike. Next print, please. This print scores 82, a silver award. Mike, if that's okay, you're right on the average there.
The selective focus is absolutely perfect for this, and I think it would have got higher had it been printed slightly lighter.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Next print, please. This print scores 81, a silver award. Hillary, can we hear from you on this one, please?
Is that one? There was a lot to look at in this image. I found the water courses going through there just a bit like dark pits. I would have liked them perhaps have a little bit more information in them.
Thank you, Hillary. Next print, please. This print scores 79. Richard's going to challenge. He's on 86.
Yeah, I'm a bit out of kilter here. I've often camped out at night in the bush and looked up at the marvel of the night sky, and this seems to capture that sense of wonder of that universe above that inverted bowl we call the sky, and I think it works very, very well. It's got a lovely feeling about it.
Mike, yes, 77.
Yeah, I found this was a very solid professional practice, but what it fails to tell me is much about where we are. Night skies are pretty much the same everywhere, and what the difference between night skies is the place that you are, and instead of lighting the foreground the way it's lit, if something had been lit that told us where we were, it would be a much stronger communication.
And Hillary on 76.
I would have said exactly the same as Mike. I've nothing further to add.
Richard, your right of reply.
Rescore.
Our average score is at 79. Richard is locked in at 86. Everyone else can rescore. Print remains at 79, but it still gets a chance at reviews. And it's always nice to have a chat about them anyway. Next print, please. This print scores 82, a silver award. And Mike's going to have a word.
This could have done much, much better had the lighting and the execution of the printing made it more three-dimensional. It's very flat.
Thanks, Mike. Next print, please. This print scores 84, a silver award. Next print, please. Oh, sorry, thank you very much. Comment, please, from David Evans.
Yeah, look, I really enjoyed this. Lovely silver image. Perhaps if it was just a little bit lighter in the water and also along the top, I might have gone a little bit higher.
Thank you. Next print, please. This print scores 77. Hilary, can we hear from you, please?
Yes, there's a lot to like in this image, but I find the skies a little bit heavy, overworked, and maybe the cropping could be improved a bit with a straight line straight through the middle, but not leading us anywhere. I just found a bit conflicting.
Thank you, Hilary. Going to do a judge change. Thank you, Richard. Have a bit of a rest for a bit. And David Glazebrook, welcome back. As David comes up, we'll have the next print, please. This print scores 82, a silver award. Yes, please, David.
There's a small human figure there on the right-hand side, middle of the print. And I think if the author, photographer, had been able to wait a second longer, the human figure would have moved away just a smidge more because they're actually intersecting a pole when you look there. And it would just provided the separation of that and would have just maybe rendered a better image.
Thank you, David. Next print, please. This print scores 82, a silver award. David Evans.
I've actually found this image quite challenging, but in a really positive way. The composition is very unconventional, but it makes me look around into it quite a bit, and then finding the little human figure there is a really nice touch. So really well done.
Thank you, David. Next print, please. This print scores 84, a silver award. And it will be reviewed at the end of the category, see if it goes elsewhere. Comment, if I may, from Mike Langford.
I think this is brilliantly done, and I hope it does go up to silver with distinction.
Thank you, Mike. We'll have to wait and see. Next print, please. By majority, this print scores 85, a silver with distinction. Jackie Rankin.
So the comment is that 3 judges really thought this was in silver distinction, and well done. It's an illustrative landscape with a great idea, and all the elements are kind of believable, yet that they connected with me. Well done.
And in that scenario, there were 3 judges in silver distinction and 2 in the high professional practice range, which is always nice when we split our panels. Next print, please. This print scores 78. David Glazebrook. Comment, please.
Yeah, so high-ended professional practice, like the technique that could almost be like alternative process / hark back to sort of days gone by pre-digital, and a successful rendition for the subject, at a high-end professional practice.
Thanks, David. Next print, please. This print scores 79 and will be reviewed later on. David Evans, right on the average.
Yeah, really well done for a professional image. I think a little bit more storytelling and a little bit more, story and image would be good.
Thank you, David. Next print, please. This print scores 83, a silver award. Let's go to the other David, Glazebrook.
Really enjoyed the humorous anecdote that's in this with the shag that's on the rail of the bridge, but then right at the back there's a pylon behind that has another shag on it, which is obviously, I think he would have bridge envy or something like that, you know. So for that, it was professional practice, and then it took us on a little bit more, gave us a little bit more something, hence it crawled into the silver award.
Thank you, David. Next print, please. This print scores 83, a silver award. Jackie, yes, please.
Perhaps some improvement could be on the right-hand bottom corner where the railing goes off to grey, and a little bit more understanding of the lines in the middle there.
Thank you, Jackie. Next print, please. This print scores 88, a silver with distinction. Now, I'm going to take Hillary's challenge because she's a point above you, Mike. She was a smidge more bold. She's a 92, but Mike's on 91, so, you know, there's some agreement there. Then we've got 88, 87, and 80. Go for it, Hillary.
Okay. When I looked at this, I mean, there's so many stories in there. It's such a derelict-looking place. There's this lonely person walking on the outside. It's sort of the colour tones are kept really dusty and almost miserable in a way. But there's so much life in each little zone, and the dirt road on the outside that just encompasses them all in this this place, as if, you know, dare come out into a different world if you want. I mean, every little part of it has a little story to tell. I just thought it was so well handled and so much imagination there, and I really think this deserves a gold.
Thanks, Hillary. Let's go to David Evans on 80.
Yeah, I'm still struggling a little bit with a gold. I hear what it is, you know, lots of things to look at and a couple of people, but I'm still not hearing why that. What's been brought to the photograph, I suppose, that would elevate it to that level. I don't see any of the photography in this. Enough for a silver, I gave it a silver, but not anything that would elevate it in an emotional sense to that sort of level for me.
Jackie, yes.
I have an issue with the person on the right-hand side, the one figure, that's maybe the hook. It seems to be, that person seems to be like 10 foot tall, really big, very tall person when I compare that size of that with a car that's down there. And that one little, that's an error to me. And for gold, I want all those things to just be right. I'm on 87 at this stage.
Mike, you saw it as a gold at 91.
I did. But I'm actually looking at the person and I'm listening to what you've said, and the shadow from the person is a different shadow from the shadows from all the buildings. So unfortunately I'm looking at a lack of context between that person and the rest of the image, and I think it's a strip-in, and I think according to the way we're seeing it, and I think Jackie's nailed it, it is the hook, but it's not a real hook. So I'm not reading it as being really there. I love the image. I think it's fantastic. That for me is a negative, not a positive. Having said all that, I think it's a gold because of everything else in the image. And I would say to the photographer, you're trying too hard because you've got a great piece of seeing, a great capture. The space around this little village is perfect. It's got space to live in. It's isolated because of that space. And so all those things work. Get rid of that person and it's a gold with distinction.
Thank you, Mike. Hillary, your right of reply.
Yes, thanks for pointing that out, Jackie. I'd sort of missed that part of that little fellow, but I still think it's such a minor thing in comparison to the whole image. And obviously I would like to see it get a gold. Obviously.
Okay, our average score is 88. Hillary has a 92, but everyone else can change their scores if they wish. It becomes an 89 and we'll now go for review. Next print, please. This print scores 78. Yes, thank you, Mike. He's going to challenge. Sorry, I'll just explain to everyone what's happening. There's you're an 84, and not entirely on your own because David Evans is at 82. Then there's a 75, 74, and a 73. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, the category that we're judging this in says that we're allowed to do what we like, and this person has, and I'm applauding them for it because it's over the top. It's like it's totally oversaturated. It's totally dragging your eye from point to point. It's beautifully illustrative. It's strong. It's in your face. I can't deny it, so I haven't. I've given it 84, and I just rethink the way that you're analysing this. This is not a fully natural photograph. This is an illustrated photograph of this idea, and it's successful.
Thank you, Mike. David Glazebrook at 73.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sort of, turning the sliders up to 10 is not quite a style that I'm sort of, following along there at the moment. And I find the balance of the image, whether, as you sort of said, they can do what they like here in this category, in terms of cloning and moving and multiple images. And so the house doesn't sit quite in the right position. The line straight up the middle of the frame is too sort of static. It's not powerful enough in terms of diagonal or leading line or snake or whatever you want to do. The light is coming from left to right. And the little yellow line, middle of the frame on the right-hand side, takes me out of the frame. We could have got rid of that, which would have helped me sort of keep me in the frame. So when those issues all compound, and it's a bit overworked for my liking, that's why I pulled up in the low 70s.
David Evans on 82. You had it in silver.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I don't have any issues with the composition. I think for a panoramic image you can do straight up the middle stuff and it works. I agree with all the comments made so far. If you were a client though with a lavender farm, you'd be pretty stoked with this. But I gave it a low silver. I still think it's worth that. Perhaps if the saturation slider was down a bit, it might be worth more. But I think it does work.
Thanks, David. Mike, your right of reply.
I'd like you to sort of look at this. David saw these things as negatives. I see them as positives. That line that drags your eye straight through the centre, okay, we're all told you shouldn't put stuff in the centre. They've done it. I love it. The elements coming from the two corners, those lines are pure diagonals coming from the corners into the centre. So graphically, that's a perfect balance. So that works as well. The location of the house on the right-hand side is the perfect balance between the two highlights on the left and the right-hand side. So in terms of just a graphic image, this is very strong and deliberate. There is no mistakes here because it's been made. And I love it. Go for it. You know, break your rules.
Our average score is 78. Mike has an 84. Everyone else can rescore. Print becomes a 79 and we'll now go for review. Let the other judges have a look at it and see what they think. Next, print, please. This print scores 79. Will be reviewed at the end of the category. Mike Langford.
I think it would have been much stronger had the reflection of the mountains. Unfortunately, the brightest part of the mountain is reflecting quite muddy, and it should be much brighter.
Thanks, Mike. Next print, please. By majority, this print scores 79. And if there are no challenges... Okay. I thought surely you're going to challenge because you're on 85 silver distinction. Hillary's only a step behind you at 84, and then we've got a 79, 78 and a 76. Go ahead, Mike.
I think this is a beautiful treatment, quite original, strong graphic. The heavy vignette at the top forces your eye to come back down again. Well constructed, well seen. We've still got structure on the water, so nothing's being lost on that long exposure. The atmosphere in there is beautiful. I love it.
Thanks, Mike. David Glazebrook at 76.
Yeah, the story for me here was almost the ferocity of the pour into the abyss. So coming from light, going into dark. So there's a journey there, but it's very sort of the transition happens through that diagonal of the center of the frame. You're sort of almost coming from the light right across where the falls are in. But beyond that, I was sort of going, where else? What do I do? And I'm looking at sort of the heaviness, as you were talking about, Mike, which you love there at the top, and even the heavier rocks right in the foreground right here. Was something there, but I'm certainly listening. I could be persuaded to come up a few marks.
Let's go to Hillary. You were in a solid silver at 84.
Yes, I just went with the way it made me feel on this one. It was pure emotion, and I always think that's worth something. And I love the softness of the light in the background, the way that the colour is just blends into the sky, like it just melds a bit, and it just was ethereal. And I think sometimes you can ignore, like we've seen before, some of the technical things that you might have changed, but the emotion of that and how it made me feel was so strong. I thought it really deserved a silver.
And Mike, your right of reply.
I think the key to this is the emotional content, so thank you, Hillary. You need to go with something like this with your guts, because it's outside of the box. It's ethereal, it's emotional, it's powerful.
So we have an average score of 80, but a majority 79. Mike holds an 85. Everyone else is rescoring. And the print becomes a solid silver at 83. Next print, please. This print scores 79 and will be reviewed at the end of the category. Before that, David Evans, could we have a word, please?
Yeah, I guess I just want to see a bit more interest in the subject. It's a very nice rendition of the building there, but the birds are just too dark to derive really any message from it. So,
Thanks, David. Next print, please. This print scores 75. Jackie, please, a comment.
There's a couple of technical issues, one being the bright spot near the edge of the frame at the top, and then there was also a change of tone, blue tone around the boat that doesn't allow me to believe in this image.
There's some nods from other judges as well, so thank you for bringing that up. Next print, please. This print scores 80, silver award. Well, you're fighting over the comments. Go for it, Mike Langford.
I felt this would have been even stronger had the photographer just bent their knees a little bit and separated that tree out from the background horizon line.
Thanks very much, Mike. Going to do a judge change. Thank you, David Evans. And bring on Gary Krenich. We will have the next print, please. This print scores 73. Jackie, could we have a word from you, please?
Just a comment would be maybe cropping in closer, and the sharpness or the focus on the ground seems to be a bit soft. Not sure where to look.
Thanks, Jackie. Next print, please. This print scores 81, silver award. But David's going to challenge it. David Glazebrook on 87. You've got an 84, 82, a 77 and a 75 to work with, David.
It's interesting. We're judging the landscape category here, yet for me it's actually a story about the bus in the landscape. Yes, this is a bus that has been a school bus or something like that, has seen its service and has been parked out in the middle of nowhere, is no longer of use in a banal landscape. So you can see all the patina on the bus here and all that kind of issue, and here it sits in this nice little balanced landscape. We've got these two little dark hillsides that point us in, and then on the gate there, I don't know if you noticed on the gate there, on the to the left of the bus, there's these two crows sitting on the side of the bus as if they're passing commentary or something like that. So there's this nice little humorous anecdote hidden in the finer detail in here, which talks to me about little subtleties of creation here and a little intense where you've got to dive in and find these things. And when an author goes to that sort of effort to try and sort of just reward us for really investing our time and having a look at that, I think that's worth a reward. I'd like to hear more, please.
Hilary Han, you were on 75.
Yes, I love the bus. I think the foreground leading up to the bus, everything there, the little fences, it's beautiful, but that sky just seems so... the colour tones in the sky are just grating, and the way it's been handled and the texture in it. And if the sky was changed, I'd be with you all the way.
Gary from 82.
So I enjoyed the sheer stupidity of this bus. It's just dumb out there on its own in a pretty awful place as well. So it's an awful landscape and it's a dumb bus, but together they all come together to piece an image that doesn't make a great deal of sense, but that doesn't matter. It's just, it's all just dumb, but it still holds together. So, it's that inconsistency of those things together that drew me to it. I actually don't like it. I actually hate it, but I scored at 82, so it's not inspiring at all. It's awful, but it's a really interesting picture, So,
Thank you, Gary. That was very interesting. David Glazebrook, your right of reply.
So we don't have to enjoy it, but we have to feel. and we do feel. And in terms of the storytelling that sort of happens here, you know, that bus has been of value and depreciated over time to where it now has no wheels, standing out in the paddock, may have the backside cut out of it, and now maybe a cow shed or something like that out in the middle of nowhere, you know. But that story, it's a story of the banal, but they're trying to make it a humorous anecdote here for us as well. And I think it's been, you know, well presented, and yeah. So, you know, I really appreciated the dumb humour in it, you know, kind of thing. And I reward that. Please consider your scores and maybe join me up there in silver with distinction.
Our average score is 81. David has an 87. Our other judges can rescore. Print is now an 83, a solid silver. It's always a good print when you know the judges are saying, I don't like it, but I scored it well. That's a thought-provoking one. Next print, please. This print scores 75. Yes, David Glazebrook, please comment.
So 2 issues, the horizon in the background there actually tilts there to the left, and also just consider the value, the weight that this holds, this railing holds in the front. It's really heavy within the image.
Thank you, David. Next print, please. This print scores 83, a silver award. Mike Langford, have a comment.
I'm not sure how it could improve this, but I can tell you how I feel about it.
Tell us how you feel.
It's like a piece of music, and I love it.
Lovely, thank you. Very poetic. Next print, please. This print scores 74. Hilary, you were right on that average.
Yes, I think a different time of day, perhaps, or perhaps more delicately processed. It's just looked a bit harsh. Might improve it.
Thanks, Hilary. Next print, please. This print scores 75. Jackie Rankin.
So a comment would be that the elements within the frame are coming together at the top and the bottom. I just can't work it out with the relationship.
Thank you, Jackie. Mike, did you have a further comment there? You have one ready to go.
Yeah, just the disconnect between the two photographs.
And some nods from other judges there too. Thank you. Next print, please. This print scores 81, a silver award. May I have a comment from Gary Kranich?
Yes, I was drawn to the one little bit of softness of those little fluffy birds in amongst all this brutal hard concrete. So the contrast between those two elements was enough to get me into a silver award. The tonal range is actually really nice and really subtle too.
Thanks, Gary. Next print, please. This print scores 83, a silver award. Mike, you were near that average?
Just in terms of improving, there is a merger, unfortunately, from the deer on the right-hand side with the tree behind them. If that merger hadn't happened, it would have scored higher.
Thanks, Mike. Next print, please. This print scores 84, a silver award. And it will be reviewed at the end of this category. A comment, please, David.
Yeah, it just takes me on a really nice journey through. It's sharp all the way through. It's a little bit understated, which is really nice for this sort of, it sends the right message for this time of day and this type of capture.
Thanks, David, and thanks for stepping in there. Next print, please. This print scores 83, silver award. Hillary, you were on 83. Give us a comment.
Yes, I think it's a lovely photograph. This little cottage. It has a really lonely feeling. It was beautifully presented, and it's just a lovely print.
Thank you, Hillary. Next print, please. This print scores 76. But there's going to be a challenge. Gary getting his thoughts in order because he's on 83. We've then got 77, 76, 74 and 72. Gary?
Yes, I deliberated for a little while there. Yeah, this is spooky and weird and strange. I don't even know what we're looking at. It's kind of lit all upside down as well, so it's kind of trying to scare me a bit, and I think it worked. And the flip is interesting because the flip isn't a dead bang-on flip. There's some detail through the middle that hasn't been flipped as well. So everything else has been flipped except the dead centre of that image. So that messed with me too, which is great. So I'm scared by it. It spooks me. It creeps me out a bit. It's a great interpretation, a nice interpretation of an overgrown green weird landscape that's kind of scaring me a bit. So come and get scared with me. Yeah.
Mike Langford, you were on 72.
Yeah, the flip worries me to a certain degree because I can't see the need for it to a certain degree. Also, the lighting. It's flat, it's from camera, and it's made everything even, and there is no visual depth to it. So I'm feeling quite one-dimensional about the image, so it's not working for me.
David Glazebrook, you were on the average at 76.
Yeah, I felt we were presented with a stage, but the act hasn't come on as yet. I'm waiting for, this is a theatrical production. Yes, it's a spooky stage, Gary, and I can go along with that, but waiting for the characters to come on stage and do their thing. And the other thing I felt about the lighting was I felt it was actually quite cool. I feel there's a difference and almost a little bit of a cyan cast in the bottom of the print there, and those couple of things were, the handbrake for me.
Gary, bring it on home.
Yeah, look, you don't necessarily have to find something to be scared of. There can be nothing there, but this is about an idea that is there. And the flat lighting, that's deliberate. It's made to look like it's one-dimensional and flat. It's not meant to be three-dimensional. It's meant to be just this continuous run of evenness and mess. You've got to go looking for something in it. It's not there, but it's there to scare you.
Our average score is 76. Gary has an 83. Everyone else can rescore. And we have gained a point and are now 77. Thank you, judges. Going to do a bit of a switcheroo on you. Thank you, David Glazebrook. And I'll bring back Richard Bennett. And can we please have the next print? This print scores 81, a silver award. But Richard's going to challenge because he's on 86.
It's a better print than that. I love the charcoal colours of the gravel on the shore and the texture in the waves rattling back through the rocks and the seabirds flying above. Two of them in just the right position in the frame. It's a beautiful image. Deserves more than what you fellas have given it. Please, come on, be reasonable.
Now, all our judges have their valid opinions, but we're going to ask for Gary's. He's at 76.
Yeah. I see two pictures, and I think the top half and the bottom half are two images. I think the bottom half is strong and would work terrifically as a square, but I'm not sure that the top half is contributing to the overall story. It kind of feels a bit plonked. So I love the lines and the definition on the bottom half, but I wasn't convinced with the top half. So I'm at 76. I think it's good professional practice and a good capture. But the essence of the picture, bird over ocean, is in the bottom half.
Mike had it as a silver on 82.
Yeah, I'm not actually talking myself to come up to distinction, but I am supporting it becoming an award. And the reason I'm doing that is something has been mentioned, and it might change the way you think about the image. And it's the black bird against the white surf and the white bird against the black sand. And I think that's a really nice piece of seeing.
Richard, your right of reply.
When you have gravel coming and going on the edge of the sea, it forms patterns under the sea which influences the formation of the waves, and that would explain why the waves are different at the bottom half of the image than the top. It's a natural photograph.
Our average score is 81. Richard has an 86. Everyone else can rescore. And we've moved up to a solid silver 83. Next print, please. This print scores 78. Richard, could we have a comment from you about this one, please? Oh, sorry, hang on. Yes, you're not challenging? Your decision? Okay, I might pass the comment to Mike, though.
What I found very confusing with this was the fact that it's snowing at the top of the image and it's not snowing at the bottom of the image. And I found that really mentally not aesthetically correct. And so I couldn't give it an award for that reason. It's sometimes when we have the opportunity of manipulating an image, it should be to make the aesthetics stronger, not weaker. And I felt that this has made it weaker.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for sharing that with us. Next print, please. This print scores 79 and will be reviewed at the end of the category. Jackie, could you give us a comment, please?
I'm seeing more about technique here, the flip and the flap, but not enough emotion and connection with the design on the paper.
Thanks, Jackie. Next print, please. This print scores 81, silver award. Richard Bennett, can we get a comment, please?
Beautiful patterns and texture in the print, but the great thing about it is when you look way into the trees, there's this tiny little house which adds that point of interest and curiosity.
Thanks, Richard. And thank you, David, for stepping in there. Next print, please. This print scores 81, a silver award. Hilary, can we come to you for a comment?
Yes, I like this. I like the design of it. I think the placement of the bicycle is really nice. I don't know that I have anything to improve it, but I just think it's a very nice capture.
Thanks, Hilary. Next print, please. This print scores 73. Mike, we have a comment from you, please.
Yeah, post-production needs to be under control, not out of control.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to do a judge change. Thank you, Mike. Step back for a bit and bring on David Evans. Welcome back, David. Next print, please. This print scores 78. Gary, could you talk us through this one, please?
It's a good high standard of professional practice, but I think it's a picture about space, and it feels a bit tight. That's all. I think it just needs some room to breathe and some more air. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Gary. Next print, please. This print scores 79 and will be reviewed at the end of the category. Jackie, can we hear from you on this one, please?
I'm wanting to relate the flipped image and give it meaning and symbology, and I'm finding that the white space unresolved as well.
Thank you. Next print, please. This print scores 77. David Evans, give us a comment about this one, please.
I think it's got a nice shape to it. Part of that rainbow is sort of a bit confusing in the top right section, and the colours don't quite all match together in a way with that rainbow either. So I'm sort of left a bit unresolved with the whole thing.
Thank you very much. Next print, please. And this print scores 81, a silver award. Hillary, can I come to you for a comment, please? How about we go to David again? You were right on the average.
Always average. Yeah, this evokes something else, which I think is really quite nice. I mean, it could be Midorian milk, I don't know, but it's just got that flowing sort of feeling about it, and so because it's got a feeling, whatever it may be, I think it's well deserving of an award.
Thanks, David. Next print, please. This print by majority scores 79. Jackie Rankin's going to challenge from 84. Gary's in the silver range at 82, and then there's two 78s and a 76.
What the authors brought to this is a wonderful sense of humour, a sense of delight in shape and colour, balance. It's perhaps a made landscape. It's certainly urban architecture at its prime colours. It's right in there, and silver for me at 84.
Richard, you're on 76.
Yeah, I thought it was oversaturated. It just hit me. The saturation seemed a little bit too strong. But I'm prepared to go up a couple of points.
Gary, you were already in silver.
Yes, I actually quite enjoyed the colour palette here. I think those colours are just where they need to be. And the nice little patch of vegetation there in amongst the red gravel was just a nice little extra element. So yeah, it's an interesting piece of work that's been really subtly handled. It's very even and controlled. So come along to silver with us.
And Jackie, your right of reply.
Yeah, I think there's everything is in its right place, and there's nothing you can change. I think that saturation is the quirkiness that's pushing my button as well. 84.
So while we had an average score of 80, a majority came to 79. Jackie holds an 84, but everyone else, judges please score. Print scores 81, a silver award. Next print, please. This print scores 73. And Jackie, you were on that score?
And it's a documentation on the back of the boat, and I'm not getting anything else. No emotional connection, unfortunately. The blue on the right is very purpley. Perhaps another time of the day with a slow shutter speed movement could help.
Thank you, Jackie. Next print, please. This print is silver at 80. David, you scored 81.
Yeah, look, it's curious, it's abstract, going with the feeling on it, and I really like the print handling. It's very nice.
Thanks very much. Next print, please. This print scores 77. Gary, you're on 78.
Look, I'm not sure the photographer has brought much more to this picture other than being there to photograph this building. I think we just need to see some other element in there that just catches our eye, apart from a good, solid capture of the hut.
Thank you. And can we please have a blank screen? Because that is the end of the category. Well done. Thank you so much to our entrants, to our judges, to our print handlers. We are about to go into reviews. So give us just a couple of minutes. Stretch your legs a bit. Don't go far. We will be launching. Okay, we are about to do reviews for the Landscape Photographer of the Year open subcategory. Our judges have all got cards that say yes or no. I am going to read out what the score is and should it go to the next level. So can we have the first print, please? This is a 79. Should it become a silver? Sorry, Mike, yeah. Sorry. Yes, it is a silver. Next print, please. This print scores 79. Should it become a silver? This print remains at 79. Next print, please. This print scored 89. Does it become a gold? This print remains at 89. Next print, please. This print scored 79. Does it become a silver? This print is now a silver. Next print, please. This print scored 79. Does it become a silver? This print remains at 79. Next print, please. This print scored 79. Does it become a silver? This print remains at 79. Next print, please. This print scored 79. Does it become a silver? This print remains at 79. Next print, please. This print scored 84. Does it go up to a silver with distinction? This print is now a silver with distinction. Next print, please. This scored 79. Does it become a silver? This print remains 79. Next print, please. This print scored 79. Does it become a silver? This print remains at 79. And that is the end. Thank you so much, judges. Thank you, print handlers. Magnificent job, as always. Thank you, Lisa Sard, current PPY, on the decks beside me. Now, judges, please hang around. You are required, apparently. But thank you so much to our online audience and our in-person audience.